All right, here we go. The day has arrived. We have been waiting, and here it is. Are you ready? For the warrior, the 45th president of the United States, strolling into the arena, scoffing at his adversary. She's been holed up in a hotel room for nearly a week, practicing. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice. How do you win a presidency? Well, you try to fool as many of the people for as much of the time. You run out the clock. You lie about everything you believe in. Tonight's going to be all about authenticity. I keep thinking about that word, authentic. I mean, I think it's fair to say that Kamala Harris doesn't have an authentic bone in her body. Everything she's representing right now is a total reversal of who she is. Everything she stands for. I mean, she's reversing herself because she knows that America is not going to elect an unpopular, far-left, radical extremist. And whatever you think of Donald Trump, what you get is what you see is what you get. I mean, he's the real deal. He is authentic. You may not like him, but he's not a phony. He's not faking who he is. He's the kind of guy who gets shot and then stands up surrounded by Secret Service agents and thrusts his fist in the air and says, fight. It's going to be quite a spectacle tonight. I can't wait to break it all down. We're going to begin the pregame coverage at 7 p.m. On radio stations all over the country. Salem News Channel as well, headed up by Larry Elder. He's going to host the pregame debate coverage. I'll be checking in from Seminole, Florida, and a big debate watch party. I can't believe we've got like 5 tickets left. I want this thing sold out. Come on. These got to go. We got 5 seats left. Now, it's for all intents and purposes, it's a sellout. I think the theater holds 120, but come on, these 5 seats got to go. Go to theanswertampa.com because this is going to be the place to be tonight. We're going to have a blast. We're going to have so much fun watching this debate on the big screen. And there's debate watch parties going on all over America. If you can't attend in person, you can certainly check it out virtually. On Salem News Channel, the pregame coverage starts at 7. The actual debate's going to be carried on radio stations like this one all over the country tonight. And then I'll be back with post-game coverage on Salem News Channel about 10:40. So check it all out, snc.tv, your antidote to the mainstream media, the corrupt propaganda media. You're going to want to watch the Salem News Channel coverage beginning at 7 p.m. And again, we got about 4 or 5 tickets left. When they're gone, they're gone. We're going to have door prizes, including signed Trump hats, or 47 hats, beautiful black hats. I gave some to my friends in South Carolina when I visited there a few months ago. I think my buddy Bill Frady wears his to sleep. He wears that hat all the time. It's a good-looking black baseball cap with the bright red letters, numbers 47, embroidered in the side of the hat. And I've got a few of those to hand out tonight as well. So come on out and join us tonight. Doors open at 7 p.m. The beautiful Studio Movie Grill. For tickets, go to theanswertampa.com. Theanswertampa.com. The Tampa Bay viewing party for the big debate. Speaking of Florida, here's Florida's own Byron Donalds last night on Fox News laying out what he expects tonight during the big ABC presidential debate.
So what I think you're going to see tomorrow night is a very calm and cool Donald Trump explaining very clearly to the American people the contrast between his administration and the Harris-Biden administration. And she has to bat 1,000 tomorrow night. There's no margin of error for her, which is going to put immense pressure on her. And let's be very honest, she's not been good at these debates in the past. We've all seen it. I expect Donald Trump to win tomorrow night. And like I said a couple weeks ago, this is the beginning of the end for the Harris campaign.
Here's the bold and brave Scott Jennings, the lone conservative voice who lights their hair on fire every night over on CNN.
Well, if she does, she's going to have a lot of explaining to do, and that's really what Trump has to do as part of his strategy. Try to let her unwind all of her past positions that she ran on before, and let her unwind on all the things she helped Joe Biden do, which, of course, caused the American people to sour on this administration. Look, it's a change election, and so if you're Trump and you're looking at some of the recent polling, like in the New York Times, you're already seen as the change agent. The goal of this debate is for people to turn off the TV and say, yep, I want change, and Trump represents that change that I need on the economy, on immigration, or whatever your most important issue is. Those will be the top two that he should be focused on. So it's really staying focused on that core mission. She's more of the same, I'm change, and however he gets from A to B, that's the strategy he needs to go for.
And speaking of CNN, this was a good moment. Here's Mark McKinnon, a Democrat strategist with his goofy-looking cowboy hat on. I mean, cowboy hats are fine, but you're on a TV set, dummy. You don't need to wear your Wyoming gear or whatever it is to show us you're a cowboy. But here he is with his cowboy hat on, being corrected by Brian Lanza over this despicable lie about all the jobs that the Biden-Harris administration created.
She can effectively bait him right back and just say, okay, Donald, let's talk about jobs. You know, you lost more jobs than anybody since Herbert Hoover. You lost more than 2 million jobs. We gained 15 million.
Yeah, but Mark, here's the problem with that, and that's the problem that the Harris campaign struggles with and the Biden campaign struggled with the economy, is they genuinely believe they created all those jobs. Flipping the switch for getting rid of COVID and people returning to the same jobs is not job creation. You know it's not job creation, and the American people know it's not job creation, and that's why they didn't buy that argument.
He was just stunned into silence, you know? What are you going to say to that? He's got his arms folded with his goofy Will Rogers outfit on. And Lanza's right. You can't brag about people returning to the jobs they were shut out of because of a pandemic and say, oh, look at all the millions of jobs we created. Hey, guess what, Mark McKinnon? Americans ain't buying what you're selling, cowboy hat and all. It isn't working. American people know better. They're trying to do all this fact check. Oh, crime's not so bad. It's okay. Oh, there's not a Haitian migrant crisis in Ohio. No, it's all fake news. It's a scandal. This is their go-to now, just lying. Everything's fine. Economy's great. Prices aren't through the roof at the grocery store or for your mortgage or to buy a new car. No, everything's fine. Don't believe your lying eyes. There's not a border crisis. No, everything's fine. That's all they got. They got nothing. I'm going to say something that I shouldn't say out loud, but it is true. If the polls are tied, and essentially they are, it's 1 point differential one way or the other. Every poll is within 1 or 2 points. It's essentially a tie. Remember, the polls are sampling the popular vote. Have you looked at the Electoral College? Nate Silver is a liberal pollster who gives Trump, I think, a 78% or 70% chance. I'll get the exact number for you here in just a moment to make sure it's exact and right. But he's got he's the overwhelming favorite to win the Electoral College. Well, that's where you have to win. So if the popular vote is tied and the Electoral College is going Trump's way overwhelmingly, this is his race to lose. And maybe it comes down to tonight. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. They better look, all the people giving him advice, let her talk. I'm not sure letting her talk is the greatest bit of advice I've heard. Let me tell you why. You don't think she's memorizing passages as we speak, hunkered down in her hotel room with her staff? She'll talk fine. Like I said, she'll give an acceptable speech at the DNC. I predicted that, and she did. She can read a teleprompter. She can memorize lines. She'll pretend to be something she's not. She knows America won't accept a far-left radical extremist like her, a San Francisco leftist. Nobody's going to accept that in this country except for a handful of woke progressives. So Trump's got to be Trump. And if he feels like interrupting, interrupt. If he feels like rolling his eyes, he needs to roll his eyes. He needs to do what got him here. And we got to get off his back and stop telling him what to do, because he'll know what to do. It's going to be a great night. And I hope you, again, can tune in and join us. Hope you join me now 800-655-Mike, 16 past the hour. We're in the Relief Factor studios for Debate Day 2024, probably the most consequential debate in the history of American politics. Because if things go as planned, Trump's going to soar to victory on November the 5th, catapulted by yet another epic debate that undoubtedly millions and millions of people are going to be watching and anticipating. Are you ready? Now let's go on. Let's get some good music going here. For the showdown between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Our number is 800-655-Mike, 800-655-6453. Jump on board and join us.
What Kamala Harris is saying, the lies that she is selling to the American people now, is the exact opposite of the record that she has had, frankly, as the incumbent in this race. She's been in the White House for the last 3.5 years, almost 4 years, not President Trump. And our country's in a disastrous position as a result, both on domestic and foreign policy. So she's not to be underestimated because she is talented on a debate stage. There's no question about that. But she's going to have a tough time trying to defend this record that, quite frankly, from the view of the American people, is indefensible.
That's Tulsi Gabbard, of course, on Fox News, who, slaughtered Kamala Harris on a debate stage once. She knows what she's talking about. This is what's fascinating. If it's really about who's the change candidate, well, that is Trump. They discovered that the policies that she finally posted on her campaign website, you know what the source code is? The Biden administration. She's copying and pasting Biden policies and saying, here are my policies. Yeah, we know. The only problem with calling her a continuation of the Biden administration is that she's 1,000 times more radical and leftist than he is. She's off the charts. When CNN found out that one of the things she has embraced is making taxpayers pay for migrants' sex change operations, even the CNN anchor was aghast. That's who she is. That's who Kamala Harris is. She is as far left as it gets. And America's not going to vote for her. 800-655-Mike. Rod's in Marshall, Michigan, ready for tonight's big debate. Hey, Rod.
Hey, Mike. How's it going?
Good. How you?
Good. I've been saying this about the debate for the last week or two, and I've not heard one of you conservative talk show hosts talk about it.
Okay.
I'm predicting that she is not going to debate. There will be a last-minute international crisis she has to help the president with. And then she'll have a excuse because she's going to do way worse than Joe. Joe had an excuse. He had dementia.
The reason she's going to debate is that this is her only chance. The only way she has...
Man, I don't know.
Look, the polls right now are showing Trump winning. Yesterday, The Atlantic revealed their cover article, their cover art for showing Trump. It's the most amazing picture ever. I want to get it framed. It's a painting, like in a Stephen King Gothic style, that shows Trump on a giant, carriage that's got a cage on it. And he's marching, he's driving the carriage towards Washington, D.C. with a whip, like a ringmaster. And locked in the giant carriage is the elephant of the GOP. The Atlantic. I mean, they're saying he's coming back. My takeaway on this cover, you got to see this cover. It's unbelievable. And I got chills when I saw it. I know it's an attempt to smear Trump. It looks dark and foreboding, and there's a black crow in the withered trees overhead, and there's storm clouds over Washington. But you can't change this. He's driving the wagon towards Washington, D.C. Even the liberal leftist Atlantic is saying he's coming back. He's going to be elected. You understand that? I know I'm not supposed to say that. I don't really believe in jinxes. And trust me, nobody's going to think the election is going to hinge on what Mike Gallagher believes. But looking at all of the polling, looking at all the surveys, tied now, he's going to win. And he's going to win pretty big. 800-655-Mike.